What's going on, guys? Austin Zaback here with another YouTube video, and in this video we're going to be breaking down the most profitable things that you want to do to a property when you're renovating the property to get the most amount of money possible for the property. And I'm actually here with a good friend of mine, a business partner of mine, Brendan Gray. You've probably seen him before on my channel, but if you're new here, typically on my channel we're talking about real estate, the stock market, how to make money, invest your money, and save money. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it, and we're actually out front right now of one of our fix and flip projects. Okay, so we actually bought the property that we're out front of right now at a very discounted price, and we're renovating the entire property, and then we're going to put it back on the market and ultimately sell it for a profit. So we're just going to kind of break it down for you. You know, if you're new to real estate, if you want to get into real estate, you kind of have to understand what it is that you're going to do to a property, because whether you're the one doing it or another buyer's the one doing it, even if you're wholesaling the property, you know, these are the things that are going to net, you know, whoever ends up actually buying the property the most amount of money. So we'll just kind of jump right into it now. We're actually in front of our property looking at the landscaping. Now, I'll show you guys, but the landscaping here right now is just horrific. We were literally just talking about that. So we'll go ahead and probably start with the landscaping just for this video. You know, obviously landscaping, it might not necessarily be like the #1 thing that is going to, you know, make you the most amount of money, but it is really important because, you know, look, at the end of the day, Brendan, I mean, if I'm driving up to this house right now, I don't even want to go inside. Right. I mean, it's almost like it's like the thumbnail.
It's a haunted house.
Yeah, on this video, right? Like, we could have the most fire video in the world, but if the thumbnail is no good, you're never going to click on it, right? So, by the way, smash the like button, okay, for the YouTube algorithm. But so the landscaping, right? And Brendan, you know, a lot of people call it curb appeal.
Yes, sir.
What is your take on that? I mean, you drive up here right now looking at this house. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, when we're talking about landscaping, we're talking about curb appeal, and you know, in the backyard, you're talking about the aesthetic appeal and functionality. So landscaping is so important because of the return on investment that you're going to get from the work that you put in. Landscaping, it's very, very expensive for a homeowner to go get done by a contractor. So you, as the upfront investor, putting that money in with, you know, any type of connection or, you know, discounted connections that you might have, you're going to be able to get a huge return on your investment leveraging the landscaping, and that's going to give you the best curb appeal. When people drive by, what does your property look like? Does it scream inviting? Does it scream home? That is what you want to happen when people look at your landscape.
What are the biggest no-nos? You know what I mean? Like, if we could just show them, we'll show them a couple pop-ups up on the screen. You know, when you're doing a property, are there some and by the way, guys, Brendan actually owned kind of like a landscape company prior to getting into real estate and real estate investing. So, you know, you were really familiar with like the synthetic turf and a lot of the new cool kind of up-and-coming trending things
products,
products and stuff like that. Are there some big no-nos? I can think of one off the top of my head that would be a big no-no to kind of put in your front yard.
Yep. You know, you definitely want to get rid of any old and decrepit plants or vegetation that you have around your property. Okay, so we're talking big trees, we're talking ugly overgrown bushes, we're talking weeds, anything like that. You want to get rid of it, and in my opinion, you want to replace it with very maintenance-free landscaping. I like small succulent plants that literally don't even require irrigation. Here in the desert in Arizona, the less water that you're using and the less maintenance to the property, the more money that you're going to save, whether you're renting the property out or fix and flipping it, and that's the end buyer who will save that money at the end of the day, which will make that sale easier for you selling the property and more appealing to the buyer. So you want to avoid putting over elaborate landscape irrigation systems, grass, even synthetic grass. You know, if you're fix and flipping a property, you probably don't want to put it, but if you're living in a property and, you know, you might be renting it out, a small little grass area, synthetic grass is going to be the move. That way you don't have to maintenance it, and your tenants don't have to keep paying expensive water bills and everything. So that'll make it more appealing to a tenant as well as an end buyer.
I love it. Yeah. And then probably nothing in the front yard, and then we'll move right along, that is like blocking the front of the house, right? I mean, you got to get rid of all that junk. So you got
clear vision. You want to be able to see the beautiful work that you've done to the house, you know, and let that really do the talking. With just an accent of nice, clean landscape.
Makes all the sense in the world. Yeah. We just did a rental property. We'll show you guys where we just did like literally just gravel, you know, and it looks really good. Obviously, no maintenance.
Super cheap.
super cheap. And, you know, for us, you know, obviously we're keeping that one as a rental property and we're going to cash flow on that, you know, long term. And we didn't want to have to deal with any maintenance at all, like you were saying, you know, with, you know, the tenant potentially, you know, not taking care of grass or some whatever, you know, and we don't want to have to constantly be driving by the property to, you know, see if they're not taking care of it or whatever. We knew that if we just put gravel in, we wouldn't have to worry about it for a decade, you know, probably. So moving right along, obviously now, you know, you pull up to the property, you've got good curb appeal. It's very simple, very practical, you know, on the cheaper side of things. And we walk in the front door. You know, obviously it's 2020, right? And then obviously, you know, most of the time, you know, the end buyer that is going to buy a property, whether that be, you know, property that was just renovated or, you know, a rental property, somebody moving in, you know, I always like to think of the women, right? The women, you know, what do? They walk through the front door and the first thing they look at is the kitchen. And yeah, they say happy wife, happy life, right? So we got to focus our energy on the kitchen, right? And we really have to think through what do people want in 2020? You know, do they want, you know, when this house was built, you know, and a lot of the houses that were older, you know, anywhere in the United States, pretty much, a lot of people wanted the galleys and the hallways and the, you know, it's really like kind of broken up, right? And now, you know, people really want the open concept. They want the, you know, big great room and family room and the whole thing. So when we bought this house, it was really broken up. I mean, there was like, you walk to the front door, the ceilings were really low, there was like a weird room to the right, and then there was like a piano like as you walked in, and it was just all, it was janky. Right? Obviously, we knocked everything down in this particular property, got, you know, knocked all the walls down, installed a big beam to kind of be able to do that. And now I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we're gonna do kind of an island. I think.
We're gonna keep it open concept, and I think that's the biggest thing is when you walk right into a house, people expect to see a beautiful kitchen. You know, it's the most important thing I would say next to the few items that we're gonna talk about. But when they walk in, they're seeing the kitchen. And nowadays they want to have your living room and dining room open concept to the kitchen. So we were able to bust down all these walls, you know, open up the kitchen with a big beautiful island right in the center of it so that you can, you know, your family is able to come, and that's where they're going to congregate when you have people and you're entertaining.
100%. And again, depending on what you're doing, if you're fixing and flipping, keeping it as a rental, that'll kind of depend on the finishes. Obviously, you know, look at the other houses in the neighborhood, right? Look at the comparable properties in the neighborhood that have been, you know, renovated and fixed up, and look at what they've done. You know, if they're all doing, you know, granite, then maybe you do granite. If they're doing quartz, then maybe you do quartz. If they're doing marble, you do marble. You know, you really don't want to overdo it, but you don't want to underdo it, right?
And that's where you got to be careful.
You want to nail it.
You can't overdo it for your neighborhood. You got to just do exactly what your comps are
because you
doing.
won't end up getting the money out of it, right? You know, you see a lot of people that, you know, they'll be like single story, to be like 1,500 square feet, 1,500, and all of a sudden you got this like monstrosity, and it's like
brand new build,
totally overbuilt it. You know, it's like there's no way you're making your money back.
You lost.
Not a good investment. You know, so if you're watching my video, you know, hopefully, right, you want to make, you're in the business to make money of some sort. Okay, so you're not in the business to lose money. I can tell you that. And you want to buy low, obviously, and sell high, right, or rent it out, or whatever the case is. So focus on the kitchen. You know, focus on what matters, right? Focus on, you know, if you need good appliances, go with good appliances. You know, maybe you need stainless steel appliances, and maybe you need, you know, a double oven, right? Maybe you need, you know, a microwave drawer that pulls out, you know, in the island, right? You see a lot of that nowadays. So the microwave kind of down below, right? And then again, you're going to see this when you look at the comparable properties. So I would say the second biggest thing, or probably those two are both like equally as important. You know, landscaping is, again, when people pull up, right, it's like clickbait, right? It's like this title and thumbnail right now. So, you know, you were looking on your browse page, you're looking on your For You page, your home page, and you clicked the video, right? Because we had a good thumbnail. So obviously we got to have good curb appeal. Now people, they walk inside, boom, they see the kitchen. 9 times out of 10, you walk right into the kitchen, right? And then I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, the next thing is probably bathrooms.
That's right.
Really important.
You hit the nail right on the head with that, I would say.
And any recommendation there, I mean, obviously, you know, 9 times out of 10, everybody watching the video, they're probably, you know, if they're looking at rental properties or fix and flip properties, really anywhere in the country, you know, you're probably looking at, you know, 2 bed, 1 bath, you know, 3 bed, 2 bath, maybe 4 bed, 2 bath houses, right? 9 times out of 10, you're not renovating anything crazy huge, and you're not renovating anything too small. So typically you got at least 1 to 2, maybe 3 bathrooms in a home. And you know, what nowadays do people want to see when they, you know, walk into these bathrooms?
So they want to see clean, and they want to see functional. At the end of the day, you don't, again, you want to not overdo it. So if you don't need to replace your cabinetry, don't replace the cabinetry. If your cabinetry just needs to be replaced with the cheapest option possible, go get the budget option vanities from Home Depot or Lowe's that you can get on discount. But I think the most important thing is for everything to be clean. You know, you can have the option of tiling your shower backsplash, or you can just acrylic coat what you have there. So if you can take those you know, budget options, if you can, within your neighborhood. Now if you're in upscale Paradise Valley, or, you know, for reference, a place like Beverly Hills, you might spend a little bit more money on your finishes. But now if you're just trying to make it clean and that's all you need to do, just put in new items that are, you know, cheap, but they're clean and they're new. Yep. And I think that's what people are looking for. And, you know, if you take pay attention to those subtle details, you know, the lighting fixtures, even the electrical outlets, you know, these are very, very cheap items that you can do yourself, this work, the labor, and even go to Home Depot and just pick out exactly what you think will look good with your concept. And, you know, you can go very, very far with a little bit of money. And
the little things too, you know, women are going to walk into these bathrooms, and, you know, there's, for a relatively low cost, you know, you can do things as simple as like a rain head, right? Where you got like the water coming down from the ceiling. You know, that's a big one, right? Potentially, if the comps, you know, comparable properties call for that, you know, you could do something like that. You could do like a smart mirror. There's a lot of houses I've seen lately that have a smart mirror where you got to watch TV or whatever while you're getting ready.
Right.
You know, and these little details, you know, like you were saying, you know, somebody will walk in there and they'll sell themselves on your house because you have the little details.
And little do they know, it costed $50 on extra than a regular mirror, $150 more than a regular mirror on Amazon. And, you know, for them, that sells them on the whole
and it's so easy to do it when you're remodeling, right? It's very difficult to change things out when a house is already finished. That's why most homeowners don't ever do anything, because it's like it's already done, you know what I mean? But when you're in the remodel phase, like right now, you know, we were looking at our master bathroom and we were looking at it, and I was saying, you know, we should make the opening a little bit bigger going in there, right? Doing that now is very simple compared to doing it when a property is already complete, right? So definitely make sure that you hit the nail on the head while you're doing the renovations. Don't wait until you're done to try to do some of what it is that we're talking about, obviously, right? So I think we talked about, I mean, those are probably the three main things that you need to focus on when remodeling a property. Is there anything else, you know, that you can think of that would be kind of a main thing to do when remodeling a property? And it could be anything. It could be even, I don't know, you know, it could be a roof or an air conditioner, or it could be really anything, just out of curiosity.
You know, I would say the next thing you're going to be looking at is, and this is very generalized and it goes for the interior and exterior, that is paint. You want to have new, clean paint and doing a very good job in the detailed areas. So you want to have a nice paint, that pop of color on your front door. That is also very, very inviting to the people that are driving by. You know, you might have that offsets kind of your main exterior color, and have that be a very inviting, subtle touch and easy on the eye paint that, you know, a lot of different buyers could get behind. You don't want to pick something that's going to be too niche, but this is going to be very important. It's going to finish that clean look again. It's something that's cheap, that you're essentially just covering what is there, and you know, that is going to kind of, in my opinion, finish off the finishing touches, you know.
Paint and carpet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like those are so, because even on the small, like lipstick on a pig, you know, kind of fix and flip projects or rental projects or whatever, you know, you look at paint and carpet and it just, it'll change a whole house. I mean, you walk in there and it's like, it's like when you clean your car, you get like a new car, right? It smells good when you get in it, right? And that's the same thing with the house. You know, you walk in, you've got that neutral, maybe light gray, maybe a beige potentially, right? But like a very light color, just a very neutral color, and then you get like that fresh carpet smell in a property will really change the game.
And I love the fact that you brought up carpet, because carpet and flooring in general, you know, flooring, I believe, is going to be the last way that you can really, with minimal amount of money, and if you're doing the right way, for, you know, almost getting this stuff done free with the materials that we have available to us these days. We really like to use laminate, plank flooring. It is very, very great for kids. It's great for spills, water, essentially. So it's cheap to get installed as well. And, you know, demoing whatever carpet or flooring that you had before, you know, and putting down something new, it's very, very inexpensive. Putting carpet into the bedrooms, and, you know, again, that's going to be a very, very inexpensive but high ROI. And
It'll change the game.
Just change the entire property.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't agree more. The LVP is definitely in right now. The laminate flooring.
Yep.
The tile that looks like wood is definitely in right now. And, you know, like you were saying, right, these are things that, again, they don't have to cost a ton of money, and you do end up actually getting the ROI.
Yep.
You know, there are definitely things in a property where you won't get an ROI, right? And that is something where you definitely will get an ROI, you know? So, you know, take these things into consideration and do them one step at a time, right? You know, you go and you look at a house, you know, you want to fix and flip it. You want to, even if you want to wholesale it, right? You have to know these numbers. You have to understand, you know, real estate, because even if you're a wholesaler and you're like, yeah, Austin, but like, you know, I'm just flipping the contract, right? I'm just selling this to a buyer. Yeah, but when you get the deal, the way that you're going to be able to determine if that's a good deal or not is by looking at it and saying, okay, it needs new flooring, it needs new paint, it needs this, this, and this, you know, landscaping. And then you can start to calculate the cost of those different things so that, you know, when you're, you know, going to give that to another buyer, you know, you'll know whether or not you're actually giving them a good deal.
100%.
Or locking the property up under contract to begin with, and know whether or not you know, you're getting a good deal.
Right.
Because there's no point in wasting time. There's no point in wasting money if, you know, you're getting a property maybe 70 cents on the dollar, but, you know, you've got to put, you know, all of this work into it. It's not even going to be a good deal.
Right.
Right. And numbers are everything. You know, you got to make sure, and you've probably heard us say before, other people, look, you make money in the buy, right? You don't make money in the sell, you make money in the buy. But the only way that you know for sure you're getting a good deal when you're buying it is by looking at what needs to be done to the property and analyzing how much money it's going to cost to get it there.
Yep.
Which is what we were doing today, right? We were looking at our landscaping here, and obviously this is a bigger project. You've got a massive tree in the front yard and a bunch of other crazy stuff going on at this property. But, you know, we're probably looking at realistically $10,000 to $12,000, you know, to really, and a lot of that is going to be demo, right?
Yeah.
A lot of that's going to be just cutting the freaking tree down. It's like, I'm looking at this tree, like, like that's
infested by bees, by the way.
Infested by bees. I'm like, where do you even put that? Do you put it in the dumpster? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like 3 full dumpsters, probably. Like, I don't know. You're gonna need like a big flatbed trailer to get rid of that. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. These are things that hopefully, you know, you can come back to this video multiple times. I'm gonna put a bunch of pop-ups on the screen and show you and reference to you everything that we talked about in the video. So hopefully you got a ton of value. I really appreciate you being on the video,
Always.
brother. We're gonna do a lot more videos just like this. So if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you would just smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Comment down below what you think you know, you're gonna do, right, in real estate, or what your plan is for 2020, what your investment strategy is, and what you're gonna ultimately do to your properties when you buy them. Again, I appreciate you for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one.